What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode. I believe this is episode five,
Episode
Hollywood
five.
at Night. Episode Lakers in Five of Hollywood at Night. I'm your host, Hollywood AJ. This is my co-host, Allie. What's up, Miss Allie? How you been doing this
Hi,
past few
hi.
weeks?
Oh my God, I'm sick as hell. I got
Sick as a
the
punk.
I got the flu slash cold slash second round of COVID, whatever it is. I don't even know.
You got
But
the simian flu from Planet of the
yes. Yeah,
Apes.
right. Yeah, it hit everybody, I guess. Except you, luckily.
Except
You
me,
are
it hit my son, it hit my ex and his little brother. But I'm fresh as a spring chicken, or however that saying goes.
you better knock on some wood,
I'm
man.
knocking on wood. I'm knocking on wood. Got wood all around me, so we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
How was your holiday slash New Year?
It was really good. Well, I mean, considering
Yeah.
we Christmas was great. We started feeling a little bit sick around nighttime, Christmas night,
Mm.
and then it hit us really bad the next day,
Yeah.
and up until New Year. So I was up. So I'm old now. I don't go out on New Year's, nothing. Like I'm like bedtime 9 o'clock, same as any other day. And we were actually up at midnight because everybody's been sick in my house. And I
Oh,
actually brought in the New Year, even though
well,
I was sick.
that's. I'm sorry to hear that you were sick,
It's all
but
good.
we wanted to do a little show for our 5 subscribers.
Yeah. Love you guys.
We love you guys. We wanted to do a little toast. I got my proper number 12 Irish whiskey.
Yep.
Shout out to Connor.
No, I made a little concoction so I don't cough all over the screen while we're recording
Yeah,
this.
so you don't spread whatever she
Yeah.
got.
But I got Maker's Mark. I
Make
have lemon, hot water, honey, got a little hottie toddy going on. So,
well, yeah, we need some alcohol for this topic we got tonight. So we could say we're past the minute, so we can now cuss on YouTube. We could
oh yeah.
officially say fuck 2025.
Fuck 2025. I hope I never see you again.
Honestly. Cheers
Cheers.
up.
I can't chug mine, it's too hot, but cheers.
Ooh, they hit the back of the throat. Yeah.
Shout
No
out
kidding.
to
You didn't
Conor
know.
McGregor.
Yes. Shout out to the Irish animal.
Yep.
Oh man. All right. Well, my holidays were good. Um,
Good.
super super chill. Got to hang out with the kids both for Christmas and New Year's, so that's always great.
Oh, I love that.
Definitely got to. It's definitely as a dad and as a parent, you always want to spend the holidays with your kids. And
Hmm.
over the course of the past few years, it's always been like I'd have one kid one day, then the other kid the next. So having both on Christmas was definitely a dream come true. And truly bringing in the New Year with my daughter was something really cool and really explaining the concept of New Year's to her because I kind of forgot she doesn't really understand what New
Yeah.
Year's is. So explaining that to her was definitely fun. So
You want to keep them young, but I don't know. Like, I don't know why people hate on New Year's. Actually, I love New Year's. I love bringing in a new year and having like this clock in my head where it's like a fresh new start. It
honestly,
really helps me out. I like it.
honestly, same because the last year was terrible.
You're right. So me and you
So
were like ready for it. Like hit midnight. We were like, hell yeah.
honestly, what are some of your New Year's resolutions? Everybody has one. Give me like
Yeah.
top three if you have any.
Let's see. Well, my biggest one, so I won't dive too deep into it, but my youngest, we've been dealing with a little bit of health issues. So my biggest New Year's resolution is to help him through
Hmm.
kind of what he's going through right now. And then second one, so I had a New Year's resolution last year that I was going to write a page a day for my book, which is
Oh
about
hell,
200 to 250 words. I hit about, let's see, to August. And
okay.
then I was tired the rest of the
No.
year. So I'm finishing that this year, even if it's just a first draft.
Hell yeah.
So doing that. And then actually I don't really have like any like health goals this year just because I started last year around April.
Hmm.
I'm down 15 pounds.
Hey, congratulations.
And but my resolution is to be at peak health this year. So
Nice.
I'm already at my goal weight, so I got to get some muscle. Got to fight off those people, got to defend my kids.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's my, I mean, those are my probably top three, but I didn't really put too much pressure on myself this year. I'm gonna write it out, see how it goes. So,
That's good. That's good.
yeah. What
That's
about you?
me. I would have to say, so your boy has some liver issues that I haven't really discussed with anybody else. So I don't know why I even drank, but hey, 2025 rough, so I'm gonna do what I want to do. But honestly, yeah, I have some liver problems that I really need to get in order. Um, I really want to work out more, like the whole typical what anybody's New Year resolution is. I just
Hmm.
want to work out more. I just want to eat healthier. I'm such a foodie. I will eat a donut covered in ice cream and Kit Kat. Like I'm
Yeah.
borderline diabetic almost. Like I really need to get my shit together when it comes to my diet. So I
Yeah.
would say eating healthier is at the top of my list. Working out is, I want to say it's rather easier, but it's not as much of a challenge as eating healthier is.
Right.
And I just don't want to stress about the small things, you know? Like I stress about paying for parking at Cherry Creek Mall in Denver.
Right.
Like just the smallest, most benign, minute things. I don't want to stress about it. You know, I'd rather save it for something else. So
There you go.
as small as it is, it's a big feat for me. So
So
hopefully
if you have one word that you could say for the year for 2026, what would you say that you would what you're focused on?
that is a great question that I honestly didn't think I'd be asked.
Yeah. You're welcome.
Yes, thank you. I'd honestly probably have to say attack, only
Okay.
because I have that mindset of LeBron going into. I gotta tie some sports into it. I'm sorry, chat. I know you're not here for sports. I gotta have that mindset that LeBron had into going into Game Six of the 2012 Eastern Conference Finals against Boston, where he scored 45, and there's that moment before tip off where he just has that scariest look on his face, like a lion just ready to kill its prey. And I just want that going into everything I do, as far as content creating, as far as school, as far as even being a dad, just attacking everything with positive attitude and just really relentless ability and giving you all the
Hmm.
best content that we need. So,
I love it. That
so
was a
with
great
that,
answer. You don't even have to be
thank you.
prepared.
Thank you. You get a little liquor in me, I'll share my deepest, darkest secrets.
I love it. I love AJ and I already said that when we're back in the same town together because he's from my hometown.
Hmm.
That we're gonna share a cigar, which I've never had,
Yep.
and then
That
get
video y'all gonna have to see.
and then get your liver in order because I'm gonna have to drink with you
For
too.
sure, for sure. This will be my last drink until you come around. So
Cheers.
cheers. I had a dribble left. So
Love it.
so let's get into it, Miss Allie. So
Do it.
the Diddy documentary dropped on Netflix last year. Just kidding. It dropped just the first part of December. And nothing, it was produced by 50 Cent. Nothing was really talked about from that documentary that we didn't already know.
Right.
As far as the whole bottles of lube, bottles of baby oil, all that freaky stuff that is honestly and technically not really a crime. Does it look weird on a man like Diddy? Yes. Who is known for having all the ladies and whatnot? Yes. So when he's out here fornicating with the same sex, as weird as it is, it's not a crime. So
Well,
what would
in the documentary. They also said that he was after other people's girls. It was never
yeah,
a girl that he saw that did not have a man already.
exactly.
Piece
And
of
by
shit.
now and by now everybody knows the whole situation about Cassie and what was being done, where he was literally being a cuck, and that was literally his top sexual fantasy when it comes to his goals with Cassie. So, just give me your thoughts, Ali, on just the entire situation as a whole, and what was your biggest takeaway from the Netflix documentary?
I mean, as somebody who grew up in the 90s, I can tell you that I've never been a fan of P. Diddy, ever. Never been a fan of his music. He was always just so like he was always so fake to me. I'm a a big part of me hates anything that's fake. So like overproduced crap and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah,
do I like hits out there when it comes to music? Absolutely, just like the next person.
yeah,
But he was just always kind of a wannabe to me. I don't know what it was. I really didn't know until I watched the documentary. I was like,
yeah.
oh. That's why he's literally a wannabe fucking gangster.
Yeah.
And what hit me biggest with him is that I don't think that you can say that anything that he is really self-made. I mean,
Not really.
he had work ethic, yes, I'm going to give him that. Um, but at the same time, it's like whatever he could steal, he was going to steal. And it didn't matter, like, because he was going to try to spin it as best as he could. And then when everything came out with him, on his trial and everything, which a lot of it was overly political, some of it, and a lot of it was kind of like what we don't already know what's happening,
Yeah.
in Hollywood. So it wasn't surprising to me. What was surprising to me is how many people he swayed. Because I'm just like, my bullshit
Sure.
meter since day one,
Yeah.
since hearing any of his songs, was just like, this guy is a fake. He's a
No.
fraud. So I'm just like, everybody really just kind of clings to people who have the most power. He had the most power. So
Yeah, he was. What's weird is the way I looked at him is he was the Suge Knight without all the gangster.
yeah,
Because the stories about Suge Knight, some I can't even repeat because of YouTube guidelines. But this man literally, Suge Knight had cops in his pocket, he had lawyers in his pocket, he had
yeah,
politicians in his pocket. Diddy is more the same, but he doesn't have the hardcore gangsters that Suge Knight had.
yeah,
And I agree. He really did the whole model of if you want to be successful, you got to step on other people to get there.
yeah,
So, but the main thing that I find that really pissed me off about the documentary was the fact that he's still benefiting from the notorious B.I.G., aka Big Papa, aka Biggie Smalls, aka the one, the only Christopher Wallace to this day, and
yeah,
almost 30 years after his murder. And I've talked about it before on my YouTube channel, Hollywood AJ, but that's not really my niche on my channel. So I feel like now is the perfect time for us to talk about it in the sense that how I feel he was involved in not only Tupac's murder, but Biggie's as well. And I feel
hmm
like that's something the documentary didn't really touch on, just very little, very, very little. But obviously that made my mind go here and there, here and there. And a lot of the information that I have is from the book Labyrinth by Randall Sullivan. And excuse me, it was co-written by Russell Poole, LAPD detective, who worked on the Biggie Smalls case when it first happened, when it first came out. So I don't know, Ali, what was your take on potentially Diddy being involved both in Tupac and Biggie's murder?
Yeah, I mean, I hope I don't piss anybody off. I honestly thought, I really thought, because I'm not in that scene, um, the music scene, I can appreciate talent. And you have two people that should be living and one who should not be living. And you have somebody who sucked the life and talent from these people and tried to make it his own. So with Diddy, what really got me about the whole Biggie story, because he wasn't representing Tupac, he was representing Biggie,
Correct.
correct? If I have that
Correct.
correct.
Correct. And Suge Knight was representing Tupac.
Correct. Okay. So with that whole thing, so Suge Knight, from what I know, from the stories that I know, was the one that was blamed for Tupac's murder.
There are theories
Hmm.
about that. Um, and again, if you don't believe me, just go look at the book by Randall Sullivan, because that's where I'm getting a lot of the information from and is spoken to by a cop. The rumors that, and I think they're kind of true, is
Yeah.
that he owed Tupac $3 million, and that if Tupac didn't get that money, he would walk. And
Yeah.
then there were rumors that Tupac was getting too famous, or that he just wanted to get Tupac out of there for his own benefit. So it's interesting in the sense that the Suge Knight theories are really fitting, but also they kind of lead to nowhere at the same time.
Yeah. And we're talking about Suge Knight, who is not a good person either. I mean, you're
Oh
talking about
no,
these
he's
like
definitely no angel.
My biggest thing about the Biggie story, and correct me if I'm wrong, that I was just like blown away from, and again, I apologize for my ignorance with this
No, no, no,
because
it's good.
I was listening to this and I was kind of, and which is crazy because I listened to Cassie's music and I listened like all early's like or early 9B R&B. Like the 90s was just so big with R&B. Like so I know all of these songs. I know a lot of this music, but the story behind it, like I was there when Tupac died. I was there when Biggie died. You know, like
Yeah.
I know the craziness and it caused.
Hmm.
Now, I'm not into rap. I'm not into that industry, but the
Yeah.
story was so fascinating to me because Biggie, what they said in the documentary is that Biggie, wasn't he supposed to fly to like London or Europe
Yeah.
or something like that?
He was supposed to fly to London. He even wanted to leave LA like 2 days before, but
Because
Diddy,
they weren't allowed in that town, correct? Like that was like this huge territorial thing where there was like
it
this
was, it
beef.
was, but Biggie really saved his ass by basically coming there and
Hmm.
saying, "Hey, I come in peace, basically. Like I don't want no issues. Sure, me and Tupac were going back and forth with our own songs, but I don't want issues." And obviously, some people took that as, yeah, you could come here, big, no worries.
Yeah.
Other people took it as, no, 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 we need to get this guy. He's on our home turf. He's on this and all that. And I don't want to bore you guys with the details too much of like the whole East Coast West Coast rivalry and whatnot, and the whole Diddy rubbing men juice on his own nipples. None of that. This is strictly something that I feel nobody's really talking about, and that's his involvement in these murders. So yeah, the East Coast West Coast rivalry was definitely big. I feel like Biggie definitely did himself no favors by releasing Who Shot Ya. And
Hmm.
I'm a Biggie fan. I'm more of a Biggie fan than a Tupac fan. I like them both. But if I had to pick, I'd pick Biggie. I even thought, why would you release that, dude? Especially if he said when Tupac got shot at the Quad Studios in November of 1994, why would you release that? I don't
I
get.
mean, from what I know, it's like even when rappers nowadays, they release like diss tracks and stuff like that. It's like more of like I don't know, like a dick swinging game. You know, it's
Oh,
more
for sure,
like I'm not gonna, you know, for lack of a better term, talking
for
about
sure.
Diddy,
But
I'm not gonna bend over.
the shoe really fit on Biggie
Yeah,
with that song.
yeah,
And he's like, "Oh, we had nothing to do with that. That wasn't us. That wasn't us." But buddy,
yeah,
you released that song.
yeah.
People are gonna put two and two together. I just didn't think that was a good look, and ultimately it landed up him losing his life. So
So was what I'm guessing is Diddy was the producer?
he was a producer. He
Okay,
found Biggie, and Jay Z kind of gave Diddy his start because Diddy was like an intern for other high music moguls in the industry. Quincy
right.
Jones, I even think he did something with Bobby Brown, but he got his start in the music industry by simply being an intern. And then he went into producing, he went into labeling, he went into seeking talent, and that's how he found Biggie, and the rest is history. But where this really all started was, I don't quite remember the year, I just remember the event.
Hmm.
It was this main photographer for Biggie and Diddy went to this death row party. And it was obviously before Tupac passed away and obviously before Biggie passed away. And the East Coast West Coast rivalry was already in the thick of it during this time. So we'll say mid late 90s, like 95, 96 ish. The photographer for Biggie and Diddy was at the death row party. It was a Christmas party. Suge took him to a back room that supposedly had a few of Suge's bodyguards and Tupac and Dr. Dre. What they wanted to do was beat up this guy in hopes of getting Diddy's mother's address out there in LA. And
Mm.
at this point, everybody's already established, blah blah blah. So what I think happened was, and this was again all, it's not allegedly, this actually happened, but I'm just trying to like tie it into like, all right, did this set off a chain of events for Tupac's murder or Biggie's murder? It kind of didn't, but I'm rambling about that. So, long story short, it wasn't said as to if he ever gave into that information for Diddy's mother's house in LA, but it
Hmm.
was reported that he did get beaten up by Suge and his goons. He was forced to drink, and I'm not making this up, urine out of a champagne glass.
Dear God. Wait,
Or
who was this? This
this
was
was the
Diddy.
photographer for
Oh,
Diddy and Biggie. I don't remember his name, but this
good
was enough
God.
to really start a war in the East Coast West Coast rivalry. So that happened, and again, it wasn't really found out if he released that information, but he did press charges on Suge Knight and Tupac and Dr. Dre because he had some jewelry stolen from him as well when he got jumped. So that was that. Then we get into the East Coast West Coast rivalry still peaking, still going on strong.
Mhm.
And with that knowledge of Diddy's mom being in potential danger,
Mhm.
Diddy got scared and he was freaking out, flipping out, and he was like, "I'd do anything for those dudes' heads," meaning Suge Knight and Tupac.
Mhm.
At this time, Biggie was touring on the West Coast. Diddy wanted extra protection while they were in the West Coast. So what did he do? He hired actual Crip members to be their bodyguards. And for those
Oh,
who
that's
don't
right.
know, Crips and Bloods do not like each other.
Yeah.
So they were going
Yeah,
to be,
but didn't he denied that. Somebody denied that. I think it
yeah.
was him
So
from directly from
we
him.
will, yeah. So we'll fast forward to the night Tupac got unalived. And then all the questions circulated around who was in the car. It was Keefe D, leader of the Crips. His nephew, Orlando Brown, was in the back seat, and he was the one that allegedly pulled the trigger that ultimately unalived Tupac. As reports were coming around, and as Diddy was being investigated for having bodyguards that were Crips, he was saying stuff as like, "I never hired Crips. I never hired Crips to be
Mm.
bodyguards. Why would I
Mhm.
do that?" When there's literal pictures of them being associated.
And I think he came out, I think in the documentary I saw that he actually like came out and was like trying to be like super like professional about it. Like the way
Yes.
he spoke about it. I'm like, dude, like pick a side. Like at
Yeah.
least with like Suge Knight and like these people. So what I'm talking about, like if you're a gangster, you're a gangster. Okay.
Oh, for
Like you
sure.
have nothing to hide. Like with Diddy, he just like played the part of whatever room he was in. I'm like, that
He
is like
really did.
key figure of like being just a fake person who has like zero talent in
But
my
that's
opinion.
also what got him to the top at the same time.
It did get him, and that's what pissed me off the most about the documentaries because
Same.
again, I wasn't there appreciating the music at the time, but talent, I mean, Tupac, like you don't have like talent like that. Biggie, you don't have talent like that. Like so
Right.
those people who are just uber mega talented are not around anymore. And you
Exactly.
have this piece of human garbage who went on to do awful, awful things aside from unaliving people.
Yeah.
He's still alive and he's still
Exactly.
breathing. And I'm like, the world's just not fair. It's just not fair.
It's not. It's not.
If you don't play the game, it's not going to be fair to you.
And if you don't believe me by what I just said, go look at the court statements by Keefe D, who said, "Yeah, Diddy gave us money to unalive Tupac and Suge Knight.
Wasn't
That
it
is
like $3 million or something like that?
1 million,
One
and he only
million.
gave him
Yeah,
500K because Tupac
right.
lived an extra 6 days.
What a piece of shit. Why?
Honestly, so if you don't believe me, that came out of the number one prime suspect's mouth.
Yeah,
So that is a fact. He
yeah.
was 100% involved in the Tupac killing. The Biggie killing, though, is a little bit more complex and a little bit more confusing because everybody thought at first when Biggie passed away, this was complete retaliation for the Tupac murder.
Yeah.
And that narrative definitely fits the shoe. However, when you really look at the grand scheme of things, and from what Russell Poole was looking into, is that during that time we found out Suge Knight had a lot of cops in his pocket, specifically Kevin Gaines, who was one of his primary bodyguards. Another guy, um, who was David Mack, who is known for pulling off the biggest bank heist in California history,
God.
robbing $700 million from a simple Bank of America. 700,000. I said 700 million. $700,000 from the Bank of America in LA. And then Rafael Perez, who is probably the most dirtiest cop in California police history.
Yeah.
They were all in Suge's inner circle. So the clues that were popping up around Russell Poole's investigation was that you know, every clue was a cop was involved. The cop was involved. The 9 millimeter was actually registered to a cop. The bullets were registered to David Mack. They were found in his home. There was a shrine of Tupac in David Mack's garage. That Rafael Perez and David Mack were often seen almost as close friends. And Kevin Gaines got into another shootout with another narcotics officer during that time that started a whole other quote unquote race war and whatnot. It's just all kinds of rabbit holes that you really have to look into, especially through the book Labyrinth by Randall Sullivan. So my point is, I feel like nobody's really looking at is that I believe the deal, this is just speculation on my part. I feel that the deal of putting Diddy's mother in harm was still on the table, especially with Tupac being unalived.
Hmm.
I felt like that offer was still on the table. Suge Knight wanted to carry that out, unless with Diddy's fakeness that you're alluding to, he would say, "What if I get you Biggie and we're
Oh.
square?"
Hmm.
Why? Because if you look at Gene Deal's interview by Vlad TV about 5 years ago, discussing the whole night in question, he said specifically Diddy was acting very skittish that night. He had no idea where everything was going to be. He was really rushing around. It wasn't pretty as far as normal Diddy behavior. So when they were all getting ready to leave, go to another party, Diddy was in the same car as Gene Deal. Biggie was obviously in the car behind them.
Hmm.
Diddy told Gene Deal, who was driving the car, run this red light. If you don't, you will no longer work for Bad Boy Records anymore. So what does Gene Deal do? He runs the red light.
And
What?
this was in California, right?
This was in
Yeah.
LA, California.
When they were at that party.
Correct.
Yeah.
So what happens right after that? Biggie gets shot. And who runs to the rescue as soon as the shot's fired? None other than Diddy.
Hmm.
And Gene Deal said in the interview, when the shots went off, Diddy ducked,
Oh
meaning
my
he
God.
thought the shots were for him.
Ugh.
And what really puts more weight into this theory is after the dust settled, the cops came to interview him. He was acting even more sketch, and he told his own employers, even musicians, artists that were under him, if you talk to the police, you will no longer work for Bad Boy. Well, that's odd because if Biggie's your diehard best friend, your brother from another mother, why wouldn't you want to do everything in your power to help solve his murder?
Hmm.
Unless you're hiding something, unless
Hmm.
you're guilty, unless you quote unquote cut a deal under the table with your arch nemesis.
God, he's such a piece of
He
shit.
he really is. And again, this is something that nobody's looking at. People are just like, oh, Diddy this, Diddy that. And his supporters, his defenders, y'all are just stupid.
Does he have any?
He
I
does. I see some people in comment sections on IG where like, oh, free him, free him. And I'm just like,
I'm
what?
a I call BS. I call bots. They
Maybe,
have to be.
maybe. So yeah, and then obviously once all that happened, everybody went their own separate ways. And then it wasn't until almost 30 years later we found out everything that we're finding out now about him when it comes to all that freaky shit.
So I know that there's like there's a word for it, but you can't be com or you can't be put on trial for a crime that surpasses a certain extent, like a certain
Yeah.
time period. So even if all this came out and everybody was like, "Hey, true, like this is what happened," like I don't think that he'd be able to put him on trial for Biggie's murder.
Yeah, I don't think that will happen, but also they just arrested somebody in the Tupac murder just 2 years ago, I think.
Yeah, but what about the theory that Tupac's not even dead?
I don't believe it. I don't. As much as I want for it to be true,
Yeah.
for someone that was that famous and that rich, you're gonna want to live life to your fullest.
I was watching the documentary. I was like, oh my God, Tupac was so handsome. Because I was never in like I wasn't in that music arena. Like I never paid attention.
Yeah,
Obviously, you know his hits.
Yeah.
But I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, he's so beautiful. Like,
He was a pretty good looking guy for sure. I just don't know how he was so bald at a young age though.
it's stress
Yeah,
of being a gangster.
yes, yeah, yeah. So those are just my theories that I feel nobody's looking at, that I feel are being swept completely under the rug, just to add more to the layers of what this entire Diddy saga even is.
I know, but like, why sweep it under the rug now? I mean, all this stuff is coming out about him. Like, why
Yeah,
would this like not want to be talked about, you know?
maybe it's the influence he still holds over people, perhaps.
Okay. But I do have a
Of
question about that because
course.
everybody from what I was reading online was saying that this was like a huge, revelation about the Biggie thing. And my thing was that Biggie, I feel like Biggie felt something while he was there. Like he kept saying like I want to leave, like we need to go. And then
Yeah,
Diddy was like cancel the flight, right? I think is what he said. And so what's what I'm saying? So like was Diddy his like
he was.
handler, like producer? Like did he trust Diddy? Like was that ever speculated as if Biggie even trusted him at this point?
He did. He did because Diddy got him his start. Diddy
Yeah.
got him everything he had at that moment.
Okay,
Diddy
so
was the only one that truly believed in Biggie.
and that's what I'm gonna say. So like I say that, Diddy didn't have any talent, which still holds true as far as like a musician, in my opinion. Because during that documentary, even his songwriter was just like, I wrote this beautiful song for him. He gets in the studio and just butchers it. I was laughing so hard. I was laughing so hard. So maybe like, yeah, when it comes to music, you probably aren't the best. Actually, you're not even a musician, in my opinion. But
It,
for an ear for talent, I think you.
that goes with anything. Like a guy could have been
Mhm.
really good in high school at football, but he sees talent better than he actually has talent. If,
Right.
if
But
that
let's talk about this bullshit thing that he was doing on stage when Diddy died and he wrote that song for Diddy and just literally dancing on his grave. Like, how
that
did anybody else's blood boil? Like,
that
oh shit.
that's the premise for this video, is to expose this son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Literally, his mother should have spit him out on the fucking floor. I'm dead serious. You could quote me on that. Like, oh my gosh. That
But
is the premise of this video. And when I saw it, I was like, I'm out. I,
yeah,
I'm glad 50's exposing him.
fucking
So
50
50, you
Cent.
need to find us to give us some credit for this. Like, come on. But
And then I think in the documentary too, just talking about his mom, and I mean, I'm a mom. I'm gonna
yeah,
support my babies, man. That's what you're
yeah.
gonna do. But he was talking about how he would be, what, 8 years old at her parties, and they
Hmm.
would be like these, like, basically like fucking weird ass parties that an 8-year-old should not be exposed to, like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I don't know who she was or why she was having these outlandish parties, but I mean, you kind of think of like, is it like nature versus nurture? Like,
Hmm.
is Diddy the way he is because of how he grew up, or is he just
Probably.
not that heart?
Probably that, and probably he just has his own fantasies, you know? He has his own fantasies, and albeit they're weird, they're not technically a crime at
Yeah.
the end of the day, which makes me think that he will get out.
I mean, everybody's freaky, man. People like what they like. You know what I mean? I get
Yeah,
it. But when you're hurting other people and when you're causing harm and pain to other people, that's where your fantasies stop.
yeah, yeah,
Stop.
exactly, exactly. So that's all I really wanted to say. That was all the topic of this video. So if you like this, please be sure to like and subscribe, comment on what topic you want us to cover next. It's your boy Hollywood AJ. All I gotta say is I don't wish death on nobody, but I wish God would have taken him and left Biggie and Tupac here, and I'm pretty sure 90% of people would agree with me. So
Amen.